It's the 21st century, and technology plays a huge role in our lives than ever before. One form of technology that has become central in some people's lives is video games. Video games first came about in 1958 when Willie Higginbotham invented his game Tennis for Two. Shortly after, in 1972, Pong was released. A while later, in 1978, Space Invaders came out. 2 years from then was the release of the game Pac-Man. In 1985, the first Super Mario Bros. Game was released. By 1992, players were able to choose from various characters in Mortal Kombat. Later on, in 2004, Sims was released. In 2009, the game Angry Birds came out and was available on mobile technology. As technology advances, people are now able to play video games on the go on a daily basis. As video games progressed, they began to be incorporated into different genres.
Such as action games, for example Call of Duty.
Any other examples?
Adventure games, for example Prince of Persia. Also role-playing games, for example Sims.
So what effect does constant use of video games have on players? In the next few episodes, we will be exploring the psychological and physical effects of video games. Games such as Flappy Birds are seen to provoke frustration that ultimately leads to aggression.
It's the most irritating game ever because I can't get past like 2.
There is also the physical side effects that video games has on its players. Purpose games such as Wii Fit promotes a healthy lifestyle as players are able to participate in various activities such as yoga and aerobics. The representation of gender has become a trending issue and concern amongst audiences. However, the way gender is represented varies within the different video game genres such as action games. Action games such as Call of Duty allow males to have a more dominant role while women are absent. Why is this?
I think it's because Call of Duty is special forces, and actually the first Call of Duty is World War II, and I don't think at that point there were many women at the front line. There were many at the back, but not at the front line, so maybe that's one of the reasons why they haven't shown many.
Adventure games. These games do allow both genders to have a leading part. However, majority of the time it's the female in need of saving.
I would say males are heroes in adventure games because they're more muscly, strong, dominant, so they're able to save the female, which she wouldn't really be capable of doing herself.
Role-play games.
By having them do the equal activities together, it sort of removes the binaries from man aerobic and woman yoga and elegant, so it puts them together.
In this episode, we will be exploring gender representation in video games. By gender representation, we mean the different ways in which males and females are portrayed within the media.
Drains are such hard work.
I've got just the solution.
Mr. Muscle.
That's right, Mr. Muscle Drano Ultra Gel.
Are females portrayed too provocative, or do modern games actually represent them more empowered?
I definitely think in video games, females are presented very provocatively. They've always got tight clothing and they're usually not the main characters, and there's decoration. But in some games like Lara Croft, where they are the main characters, they are very empowered, but I don't think it's necessarily in a positive light because they are still very provocative, and it's almost to be empowered, you have to be provocative and you have to be like the women that are portrayed in these games.
I don't think it's empowering because although in the 21st century some feminists think that women wearing minimal clothing gives them more power, it doesn't, in the sense of we're still objectified, and the first thing the man sees is not the clothing, is not their personality or how good their abilities are in the game. It's that they're a woman and they have breasts and they have a gun.
Earlier, we caught up with a sociologist who explained the portrayal of women and how it affects us as an audience.
I don't necessarily watch them, but as I say, I see excerpts of it from what my son sees, and I've researched it from a sociological point of view. And from what I see and what I know is that a lot of the time, women especially are seen as subservient, sexual objects. Even when they are seen as action heroes, they're still curvy and dressed in a certain way.
To show how audiences respond to gender representation in video games, we conducted an experiment.
Well, when you're playing Call of Duty, it was like way better than it was before, because in previous COD games you couldn't really get to choose a female character, and for like maybe campaigning or like multiplayer, it would just be like like males you'd have to choose from. But now there's female characters and they show them as like independent and strong and pretty much the same as men. For all their roles are exactly the same as the men role.
The role of women in GTA is just a means to amuse the player that's playing. Like, they use women as like strippers, prostitutes, stuff like that. Like, just throw money at them, just take out pleasures on them.
The role of women in my video game is that she is a survivor in this island and she gotta do whatever it takes to survive, and she's brave and strong and she's been through a lot.